So it's kind of hard to talk about it, but so my story started in Eastern Europe. I was born and raised in Romania. My childhood was really good until my mother died. Then, because of poverty, I had to move to the capital, to Bucharest. And here it all started. I met this man, let's say he was called Tony. And he was very nice to me, and he did a lot of nice things to me, and I was considering him as my boyfriend, and yeah, everything was perfect by then. And one day he just proposed to me to go to England because I might get a really good job and earn a lot of money. So I just agreed and went with him, and he promised me that he would take me to a house. Sorry, when I remember about it, it's very hard. And that house turned out to be a brothel. So from that point, he started forcing me to have sex with a lot of other men, and as many times as he wanted. And I couldn't say anything about it or just refuse. And it just went on like this. And one day I got pregnant, and I tried to hide it from him because otherwise it would have been really awful. But yeah, at some point it got even worse, and I couldn't deal with it anymore. So I just had only one thought on my mind, like, it's just getting away from there. So one night they were all drunk and partying, and that was my chance. So I just fled and left everything behind, and I succeeded to save myself and my baby.
Mary was a victim of human trafficking. It is estimated that each year between 800,000 and 4 million people are being trafficked around the world, making human trafficking one of the top 3 most lucrative crimes. The majority of victims are women, forming 70% of the victims, followed by 30% of men. The main methods of attracting victims are false job advertisements, family arrangements, and misleading friendships and abductions. The method used on Mary was the loverboy method. The question that we will try to answer in this video is, how can this form of crime be explained? There are a few theoretical approaches that explain the act of human trafficking. Rational choice theory takes the presumption that criminals are rational beings who make decisions to commit crime based on the costs and benefits involved in the process of committing crimes. It is pointed out by Brown, Svensson and Geis that the rational decision involves the choice of the victims, where and when to commit it, and what to do afterwards. In the case of where and when to commit, traffickers may, for example, choose to increase their financial gain by moving victims from the countryside to a city. Through methods such as misleading friendships, false promised job opportunities, and especially the loverboy method, traffickers abstract chosen victims from their social networks and create completely new ones, detached from the old ones, which they use to keep control over their victims and eventually even convince them to be traffickers themselves. Those false intimate relationships and friendships create a positive image of the trafficker, bonding the victim to the person who pretends to be their boyfriend, friend, or family member. Once the decision to leave the old network and join the new one is made, the trafficker is the only person the victim knows and feels close to, which provides the trafficker with devastating power over the victim. Detached from all or most former social relationships, there is not much room for decision left for the victim. In most cases, intimidation tactics make it impossible for the victim to leave the network, often leading to stronger engagement with the new social network. To please the other members of the network, especially the trafficker, victims tend to start engaging in recruitment practices themselves. Then the combination of honey and vinegar, bonding and intimidation succeeds in creating a new trafficker. Our interview Mary was strong enough to somehow escape these structures, moving on, building a new life somewhere else. However, millions of others do not have this strength and opportunity, locking them into the cage of cruel, dehumanizing networks for the rest of their lives.